Waker is the Pokemon trainer of PSO2, using 3 different pets called familiars to dispatch their foes. In today's video, we are going to discuss a powerful build for playing a Waker Bouncer. Let's jump right into it. For starters, let's talk about your class tree. At the time of this recording, we have a maximum of 47 skill points to spend. Here's how we spend them. First, grab Harmonizer Focus, which fills the focus gauge of one of your familiars when you use their Photon Arts. Upgrade this with Familiar Harmony, which allows your familiars Fredrin and Wolfen to attack in unison, consuming some of each familiar's gauge. Max out Call Again PP Preservation, which reduces the PP cost of a familiar's Photon Arts temporarily after expending some of its gauge. Harmonizer Focus Extra, which increases the Harmonizer Focus stock to 3. Treble Clef Marking, which will mark enemies you hit several times. Marked enemies take more damage and are downed more easily. Treble Clef Ignition, which will detonate a mark on an enemy by holding the normal attack button. Familiar Support, which generates a crest that attacks periodically when you detonate a mark. The crest changes based on the last familiar you used. Familiar Support Amplifier, which increases a familiar's focus gauge for a set time when you activate Familiar Support again while it's still active. Marmelo Strike, which causes Marmelo to grow when you use him to negate attacks. Holding the weapon action will let you toss Marmelo, who will detonate on impact with an enemy. Hot Marmelo Parry, which will make Marmelo block attacks without interrupting your own attacks to do so while the skill is active. Hot Marmelo Parry Short Cooldown, which reduces the cooldown of Hot Marmelo Parry when you avoid an attack with it. Marmelo Strike Tracing, which allows Marmelo to home in on enemies. And max out Marmelo Patience, which allows you to hold Marmelo in front of you when holding down the weapon action button. Doing so will build Marmelo's gauge when you are hit with an attack while also preventing cooldown, or knockdown. Max out Retro Friends Rescue, which makes you automatically recover HP over time when you drop below 75% HP. Put 8 points into Resta Effect Continuance, which reduces the amount you heal from Rest Assign, but turns them into a heal over time that lasts 10 seconds. Harmonizer Parry Counter, which allows you to counterattack with a normal attack after blocking an attack with your weapon action. Linear Drive, which allows you to move forward at high speed after you press the normal attack button at the right time after using a Photon Art. Holding the back direction during this will make you dash backward. Upgrade this with Linear Drive Encore to make an additional time if you use another normal attack at the right time. Finally, Harmonizer Parry PP Game, which recovers PP when you negate an attack with a weapon action. Your subclass is Bouncer. The skills we want from this tree are Max out Defeat Amplifier, which makes it easier to cause enemy downs. Max out Partial Destroy Advantage, which grants a damage bonus against enemies who have parts broken off. You'll have 27 Bouncer skill points left over, which can be spent however you wish, but they must be spent. Nothing else in this tree is useful for this build. When fighting groups of enemies, we use the Photon Art of our familiar Fredrin. Fredrin Breath, which will target multiple enemies with a powerful breath attack if the PA button is held down. Against single targets or bosses, we have the Photon Art of our familiar Wolfen Raid, which makes you charge forward and uppercut an enemy. If the PA is held down, you'll perform a combo attack instead. Each familiar has its own gauge, similar to your Photon Blast. As you attack with your familiars, they will build up their individual gauges. When Fredrin and Wolfen both have a full gauge, you can activate Familiar Harmony to have both of them attack a single target as a team. At the time of this recording, the gear you should be shooting for are a Kuklafis Harmonizer and 3 Ephitus Armor Sheza units. The Kuklafis weapons can only be found in the Stia Exchange Shop at the Item Trader in Stia Camp. Ephitus Armor Sheza units can be found from Rank 3 Kavaris combat sectors, dropped by Dark Falls Round 2, as a clear reward from Ordinal Tower, or from Stia Red Boxes. The augments you want for all of this gear are Technique 4, which drops from field races, Mining Rig Kavaris Rank 2, and from Stia Exploration sectors. Mastery 4, which can be exchanged for in the Augment Capsule Exchange Shop, and on Stia Red Box units. Sulfur, which drop from level 65 plus Kavaris, and from Vera's Suppression Op Rank 2. Gigas Technique 4, which drops from level 69 plus Gigantics, and Alt Secreta 4, which drops from level 65 plus Alters enemies at night, and can also be found in the Stia Exchange Shop. That's all for this build. If this video helped you, please like the video and subscribe to me for more PSO2 content. This is Shadgon, signing off.